Welcome to Girls Who Talk Goals. I'm Christy.
I'm Natalie.
And I'm Emily.
We are creating an empowering community where we inspire each other to step out of our comfort zones
And fill each other's cups one conversation at a time.
We're all just trying to figure out life, so let's go on this journey together.
Let's jump into today's episode.
Welcome back to today's episode. Today's mantra is, a goal without action is just a wish. So before we dive into that, we want to give a little life recap and just talk about what's been going on with all of us lately. Honestly, I've been in such a slump lately with life, in all aspects. Work, personal. I'm not doing what I usually do. I'm not getting up, moving my body. I'd be staying up late, sleeping in until like 7, and I'm sick of it. And so this week I started getting up at 5 a.m. again. I've been getting up at 5, getting outside within like 10 minutes of waking up, going for a walk or a run, and then I've been going to the gym, and then getting to the office at a decent time and getting my work done.
That's amazing. And
I've been eating healthy, but I'm literally just forcing myself. I don't care if I get like 5 hours of sleep. I'm getting up because I'm sick of my crap.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
But I'm on day 2. It's going good, but I'll probably be really tired by Thursday.
Awesome. I'd love to be a 5 a.m. girly. And I know I say that I can be, but like this morning, I'm now putting my alarm across the room. So you know what I did this morning? I woke up to turn my alarm off. I picked it up. I went back to bed. That's my issue.
I do that.
Been there, done that a time or two as well.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
I'm working on it, but that's amazing.
Yeah, I love
Feel
that.
so productive.
You do. And like, honestly, I think back, like, I'm like, okay, it's 6 o'clock. I'm like, I've done so much today. It's crazy. You just accomplish so much in a day whenever you get up that early. But
Yeah. That reminds me of the, there was a clip, Kris Kardashian, she's on the treadmill and she's like trying to call people and it's like 7 a.m. She's like, it's basically lunch hour.
Yes.
She's been up since like 4.
I
I'm
love
like,
that.
that's
what
you
it
gotta
feels
do.
like.
That's what you gotta do.
That's what it feels like, honestly. So highly recommend.
I need to get back into that because like a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, I've just been so busy that it's been so hard for me to prioritize my life, which is, I know we've talked about that before. It's like the backwards thing to do. You know, put yourself first, be the one to get up early, do the things that you need to do that make you feel better.
Amen.
And my life has sucked recently. Maybe I'm being a little dramatic when I say that, but I feel like I've just been like in the slumpiest slumps of all slumps.
Can you repeat that, please?
Down in the slums.
Yeah, I just like have been I don't know. I just feel like I've been lacking motivation to do the things that I know I need to do. And I've also just been so busy again. Like I have so many separate projects going on and my career at the same time. So it's like I really haven't had a lot of time to just think too. It's like go, go, go. And that's finally winding down to where I don't have as many priorities right now. So I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things this week and do better. And definitely start by getting up early again because I feel like that just crafts your whole entire day.
I agree.
It does.
If you wake up late, which I've done too many times, then you're automatically stressed. You don't have time to journal, or you don't have time to like think about what you have to do today and before you have to get ready and then feed the dogs and then whatever. I agree. Maybe we can do an accountability partner.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Like call.
Well,
my
I was
ass up.
telling Christy earlier, I feel like McCall right now is my accountability partner since she lives literally right around the corner. She has to start getting ready at 6 a.m. every day. And so we either walk or run in the mornings. And so like we have to go. Like, and she's right there and she's like, hey, I'm literally outside of your house. So
That's awesome.
So I'm like, okay, so we go.
Yeah.
We pass by your house every day. So we'll just pick you up on the way.
Join along, Natalie.
Honestly, I would love to.
If you have somebody to do it with you, it is so much easier. But if you're doing it by yourself, then if you don't have to get up, if no one's expecting you, then you're not going to get up.
Yeah.
Right.
Most of the time.
Yeah. No, I agree. Okay, we'll talk.
We'll talk after this.
They'll discuss those details later.
Yeah.
We'll keep you updated.
What about you, though?
just super busy with work and everything. It was my best month ever, which was awesome.
It's amazing.
But, yeah, it was amazing. So I need a couple more of those. But just like, yeah, obviously it was a nice paycheck, but then you have so many other things you're doing with like the podcast and the rental and then the realtor and the appraisal and like all these things, and you're wearing so many different hats, it just wears at you. And like you just said.
Yeah.
But going on vacation next month, trying to be grateful, the past couple of days have been totally fine. I've been awesome just because I'm just grateful, and I realized, okay, it's not that serious. It's literally fine. It's no big deal. So I've been really into my productivity mode the past couple of days, and it's been awesome.
Natalie's also been working on our Etsy store, which is finally, hopefully by the time this is released,
it will be up.
It'll be good to go.
Yeah.
You can order your little heart away with all of the things that you want. So
all the cute merch.
Yeah, she's been slaying away at that, and it hasn't been the easiest task. So super appreciative.
Complicated things, and it's ready to go now. It'll be ready by the time you're listening to this for sure. But we just wanted to do a sample customer to see the process of like the behind the scenes, because the last thing we want to do is have it go live and then it screw up when people are trying to order or whatever. So anyway, by the time you're listening to this, go check it out. Our link will be in the bio, and yeah, give us some reviews or any ideas of what you want to see.
And what other merch you want. Yeah. So let's get into today's episode. You would have thought that we would have talked about this already, about goals in general and what goals mean to us, being our name is Girls Who Talk Goals, and we haven't actually talked goals yet. So
Isn't that ironic?
I didn't even think about it until we started talking about this.
We got a DM yesterday, actually, and just, I guess we're asked a lot of questions about what goals mean to us, and it actually got us thinking. We're like, wait a minute. Let's do a whole episode on that, because one, we should anyway, given our name.
Yeah.
And since it's such a big part of all of our lives. So we're going to dive into that and what it means to us.
Yeah, see where it goes.
Okay, so let's just get into some of the questions that we were asked. Okay, so the first question, super basic. Why do we set goals?
I think personally, like, I want something to work towards, and if I don't have goals, then I don't know where I'm going. And I need to have things personally that like I'm checking in on, like, where am I at on this? Am I getting closer to that? I wouldn't want to even live a life without it, actually. Like, I want things on my board that I'm working towards every single day.
Yeah, and we're definitely the same, because we like to write everything down.
Yeah.
Because I have to be able to see it, like in my writing everything down.
I agree.
I know some people don't like doing this, but I love telling people what my goals are. I tell a lot of my clients that one of my goals is to have like 25 to 30 rental properties. And I know a lot of people think I'm crazy when I say that, because before I'm 30 too, because I'm 25 right now. But I'm like, if I'm not talking about it and putting myself out there, then I'm probably not gonna like be going after it as hard as I am. So even if they think I'm crazy for setting that, I'm still gonna keep saying it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what you do tell people, whether or not you should tell them or not. But I think that one specifically, because you're telling it to people that might have a connection, and people do want to help others, like if they can. I feel like some people don't, and they're just bad eggs. But a lot of people, I think, do want to help. So if you're telling them, hey, this is my goal, they might know of somebody just on an off chance.
Yeah.
So I think that's, if you're going to tell it to somebody, your clients are the perfect people to tell.
Right.
Because I feel the same way about telling people your goals, but I also feel the same way. It's like you don't want everyone to know your goals.
Yeah.
But I'm the same with like I do tell at least all my like, friends and family, because I'm like, I want you to hold me accountable, and I don't want to look dumb when I don't reach them. You know.
I also think you kind of get a feel for somebody, and like you sense their energy, and you're like, okay, I can share this with them, and I'm comfortable with doing that. So
I agree.
That's a good point.
I agree. I just think it depends on the goal, but friends and family, you should definitely be telling them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If they're supportive of you.
Which they should be.
Which they
if
should
they're in
be.
your life.
Yeah, then you should definitely tell them, because then they'll keep you accountable and they'll push you further.
And I love it though too when people think that Like people are like, oh, are you sure that's an attainable goal? Because I've heard that about this goal. And I'm like, well, now it is, because you make me want to do it even more.
Yes.
I love Delulu.
Me too.
I love being delusional. It just makes life so much more like simple in my mind, or peaceful. Because I mean, if you're delusional, you're like, oh, it's not that serious. No, it'll happen, whatever. And it's almost like a form of manifestation in my mind.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Mm-hmm. I guess there's a point of like, okay, if you're in a business setting, you don't want to sound bad if you're thinking, or if you're saying all these things in front of other professionals, like you don't want to sound stupid, but like there's a line, I guess, of what you're saying. But for the most part, I think living delusional in your own fantasy world, I love it.
Especially with goals.
Yeah,
be delusional. Set your goals high.
There's we were just talking about this. I don't know. We don't know the theory, but I'll see if I can explain it because it's a little bit hard. But for example, talking about goal setting, and I know we talk about this. So say, I'm going to use big numbers just for an example. Say your goal for making money, you own different businesses and whatever. Your realistic goal is $500,000. And you made $450 the year before. You're hiring new people, taking on different tasks and everything, and that's like realistic for you and your business. An unrealistic goal would be like $800,000 or something. Super crazy, like totally not where you're headed, okay? There's a thing that I've read. If you set your sights on the 800,000, you're more likely to surpass the realistic goal. Because I think what happens if you hit the realistic goal and that was your goal, then you stop. Whereas if you set your sights on something unrealistic and you're more likely to surpass even what you thought you could do. Because it's all about what we think. Like, we set limits on ourselves. So when you set yourself up for something totally unattainable that you think it is, you're more likely to reach further than what you even thought was possible. If that makes sense at all.
It totally makes sense.
100%.
Did I make it? Okay, because I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Well, and like what we were saying earlier, so I set a goal to run a marathon because I have the same mindset. I'm like, okay, if I set a goal to run a marathon and I can't even run a mile, then I'm more likely to hit the half marathon mark than if I were to just originally set a goal of running a half marathon and maybe only make it to like a 10K. You know, so you always want to set them higher. But playing devil's advocate, because I feel like some people would almost argue with that and say, what if you set your goals, you go after the unattainable goal, but then what if you are down on yourself because you didn't reach that or something, you know?
And that's the devil's advocate, because then you're never truly fully getting a goal, which I feel like to keep reaching and to keep going for it, you have to have those small wins, which is why I think short-term goals are equally as important, because then it gives you the motivation to keep going. Because if you only have unattainable goals and you never reach them, then it's kind of like you'll get down, because I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just read that and I thought it was really interesting because it's all a mindset thing. Because if you have goals, which if you're listening, how many of you have actually looked over your New Year's resolutions and where you're tracking? Because most of us probably haven't, including me, which I need to, and this episode is going to make me do that. But if you're not doing anything with your goals, then what's the point of having them?
Do you ever feel like, too, though, that once you hit a goal, it's like you're not as fulfilled as you thought you would be?
All the time.
Because I feel that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, wow, I thought I was going to feel so much better.
Yeah.
Once I hit this goal, but then like you hit that goal and then you're like, okay, well, what's next?
Yeah, which is what we've said before. Like, you're almost to the point where it's attainable and it's realistic. Once it starts being realistic for me, I'm already on to the next thing. It's like I'm chasing the unrealistic thing because that's what I want more, which is kind of messed up in a sense.
Yeah. I feel that though too. I personally like the what they would say the unattainable goal is, because I like who I'm becoming on the way to that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I don't, like you were saying something about like your short-term goals and all of that too, which like those in there, but like it's all about the small wins on the way to that. And even if I don't get there, because I knew it was high when I said it.
Yes.
It's still, well, hey, I did this, this, and this, and I'm still damn proud of myself.
I love that. And I feel like your mindset going into it has a huge, huge play on like on that. If you're going to be down on yourself because you didn't hit that unattainable goal, or if you're going to be proud of yourself because, hey, I surpassed the attainable goal and look what else I did.
Yes, that's key.
Yeah.
And that's how you have to set it,
Yeah.
because you have to be aware with yourself. Mm-hmm. And I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And that's where it's nice to have like friends and family who support you, because you can be like, hey, this was my goal. It was unattainable, but this is what I did instead. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, you are amazing. So
Exactly.
I think we talked about this when you were when you started thinking about doing the marathon.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Because if you hadn't set the marathon as the goal, you might just be doing a mile every day or every other week, or like,
Right.
you might have not even done the half marathon.
Exactly.
So I totally agree with that. And I agree. I think mindset is the number one thing. That's the most important.
Behind setting your goals. Totally.
Yeah.
Whenever you guys set your goals, because I think we're all very visionary or visual learners, visual everything. So how do you visualize your goals? Do you write them out with words? Do you do a vision board? How do you put pen to paper in your mind?
I love a good vision board, and I have it as my wallpaper on my phone, so I look at it every day. And I'm a very visual person. And when I do goals, of course there's different types. I have the short term, which is like the small wins. And that can be literally every month, every quarter, whatever. And then, of course, long term. But what I really like to do is envision what I want my life to look like, because that's the ultimate thing for me. And that can be, it doesn't have to be money. It could be like, what do I want my life to look like? And then going down from there, okay, that's when I get my long term and short term of like, how do I get there? So I'll look at, 5-10 year in my head of what I envision it. And then I go 5 year. And then I'm like, okay, what do I need to do in the process of 5 years to get to where I want to be? And then I break it down in half into 2.5 years. And then I go down to like every quarter, what do I need to be doing to become that person of who I want to be in the future? I'm just like visualizing though. And I don't like glass ceilings. So I don't like saying, I don't know. I'm very careful of what verbiage I use, because if I use certain verbiage, I get stuck in the same place. So I just like to envision it. And then I'm big on manifesting. And so I try to become who I want to be. And that correlates with my short term, because who I am in the future is me now, and I'm doing those small wins to get there. I don't know. It's confusing in my head, and it's hard to explain.
I love the working backwards thing.
Yes.
Because in my mind, when I think about my, what do I want to be, or who do I want to be in 10 years? And I think with the path to get there, I can't see like anything.
Yeah.
So I love that, working backwards, because I'm going to have to implement that.
yeah, I love that too. And that's fantastic that you think that way, because I am like, I'm like, okay, what's my goals for the year? And sometimes monthly too, but I would love to paint a clearer picture and vision of like where I really want to be in like 5 to 10 years. As I guess I haven't given that as much thought as I have just like, where do I want to be next year? What do I want to be doing? But I need to start thinking that way.
Bigger picture.
Yes, because I know like I want to have the freedom to do whatever I want. Like that's a huge goal that I would love to be doing like in the next 10
Yeah, which
years.
is all of us.
Yeah.
And have complete control. Like that is the ultimate
goal.
Yes.
100%.
And you're doing that anyway, because with getting the so many property by 30, right?
Yeah.
That is
Helping me create that.
exactly. And so there's so many, and I like what you said, Emily, because you can't see yourself in those stages of how you're going to get there. And that's what manifesting is, because you might want or manifest a certain thing or lifestyle or whatever, but you don't know how it's going to come into your life. And so they say to be super detailed on what you want, but kind of leave it open in the roller coaster of getting there, because you're going to have ups and downs. You might have to, like, it's not all going to be rosy. You're going to go through a breakup. You're going to go through getting fired, because maybe getting fired leads you to another freelancing job where you do get that.
Yep.
So there's so many different variables. I just get confused with myself.
Yeah.
I love talking about it though.
Yeah.
I do too.
Same. But going back to what you said too about how like I know where I want to be. I can sit and manifest and visualize, and I know what I want my life to look like in 5-10 years. And again, it's just I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I love keeping it open.
Yeah.
So it's like finding the balance between setting my goals, hitting my goals, but then leaving it open at the same time. Because I'm such a like go with the flow type of person wherever life takes me. But then also I have to have some sort of structure to get there.
Right.
So figuring that out.
It's hard, and you have to love the unknown, because that is scary, which we were scared so much of that a couple years ago.
So
Because
much.
We're like, I don't even know how it's going to happen. Like, I don't understand. I'm stuck in this job, or how do I do this, or whatever, or who you're with, or whatever. And it's like the unknown is so scary, but that's the only known thing, is that things are going to change, and they have to change in order for you to get to your higher place, higher self, wherever you're meant to be or whatever. And so that's hard, and accepting that is a huge thing.
But it's only scary because you can't see the unknown.
Exactly.
But it's probably way better, probably.
It will be.
It will be.
Yeah. It will be.
But you just can't see it, and that's why it's so scary.
Yeah. And think of it of where we were a couple years ago. I don't think any of us can say, oh, like where I'm at now, oh my gosh, no, I hate it, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I think we're all very grateful, and I think we've come so far in our growth.
Yeah.
We have. Because we're all big goal setters.
We are. That makes me think of when I lived in North Carolina, and my husband wanted to move back, but I was like kind of unsure because I loved this state, but I hated my job at the time there. Mm-hmm. And I was so close with my boss though, and like not a good way. Our relationship, she was like a narcissistic boyfriend is how I would describe it. So I never had like the courage though to quit, because I still loved what I was doing, but she was super toxic. But Andrew had brought up moving, and I was like, well, I don't know. And then we did move, and like coming back home and getting into real estate has been a huge W for me. I just feel like I found something that I really enjoy doing every day, and I wasn't anticipating that. I was
gonna say that you're thriving in. Yeah.
So it is so true that you just don't know where things are gonna take you, and to keep it open. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Just keep it open. Just go with the flow.
I love it.
Okay, to circle back to the visualizing question, do you write your goals out, or do you make a vision board, or what do you do?
I haven't made a vision board, but that's something I definitely want to do, because I've saw your guys's and they're so cute and I love them.
Thank you.
But I usually just write them out. They're in my journal, they're in my notes app, and like I'm also always like I probably have like 3 to 5 goals. It's nothing crazy. I don't overwhelm myself with things that I know that are going to be too much, you know, being a little realistic, I guess, with how many I'm setting. But yeah, I write them all out, and I try to check in on them throughout the year too. This week, I am not where I want to be this year with real estate, with where I had set my goal. So I was like, okay, what can I do to help me get where I need to be and to help my clients too? So I signed up for like this new marketing thing that I'm super excited for, and I know that it's going to give me the push to get to my goal. So sometimes it's like finding the right things that can help push you towards where you want to go.
Yeah. Yes. Finding the right tool.
You checked in on your goals though, which made you maybe want to do that. But if you hadn't, I feel like that's a huge thing, because so many people, maybe they know they're not where they're wanting to be. And so it's easier subconsciously to not check it. But then at the end of the year, they don't get anywhere.
Yep.
Because they don't proactively check it. So that's good on you.
Thank you.
It's like when you know your credit card is high.
Yeah.
And you just don't check it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't want to
Exactly.
see it. It's better if you just don't look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And that will
awesome.
be what propels you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm super excited. So
We need to do a vision board for Girls Who Talk Goals. I would love to do one. I've always done one on Canva or whatever, but I love for it to be physical, like a big poster board, because I think that's even more powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For some reason.
I think too, if we film that, I think that can inspire other people too,
Yeah.
to either do a physical one or, one, because I'm the same. I have it set on my laptop screensaver and then my iPad, just so I can see it. I need to do it on my phone too. But.
And show people how we do it, because so many
Yeah.
people, It's like so normal for us to talk about it, but most people, or not most, I don't know, but some people might not know how, or like, what do we pick? Because like my mom was trying to do one. She's like, so I just like cut stuff out of magazines. Yeah, and I'm like, so that'd be fun. I'd love to do that.
I think that's great. I love it.
And just to inspire other people too, and show them that there's other ways to envision your goals rather than maybe just, like you said, writing them out. If you're more crafty, more visual. Yeah, then you can make a big poster.
Powerful.
It is. So another question that we were asked that's very interesting, and honestly, we didn't really know how to answer it at first. We had to discuss it.
Yeah.
It's, how do you know when a goal no longer serves you and no longer serves the path that you're on?
Ooh.
That's hard.
It is.
And everybody, it's so individualized.
It is.
Because it depends on what kind of goal it is too. Like, is it a monetary goal? Is it a relationship goal? I don't know. Does it, like, if you think about it, does it make you light up or does it weigh you down more?
Yes. I'm going to share this quote really quick while we're talking about this, because I feel like it's kind of pretty good for this question. So it says, you don't need more time. You don't need more information. You need goals that light you on fire and an ambition that can't be tamed. You need to enter the damn arena and face the work. Move fast, learn, improve, repeat. You can't sit there and worry about what might happen and what people might say, but realize that nobody truly cares, and the only way to improve is to do. It's not the universe or other people that's stopping you. It's the story you tell yourself about what might happen. Turn it off and enter the arena.
Mic drop.
That was a mic drop.
But I feel like that is like what you just said. Your goals should,
much better language.
Your goals should literally light you on fire. And if they don't, let's find some new goals.
Yes. And to make sure that you're setting the goal for the right reason. Because if you're setting the goal, say it's a monetary goal, but it's only to maybe tell people you made X amount of money. If it's not for a good purpose, then okay. Scratch that. Let's go back to the drawing board.
Right.
Like we said with the monetary, for us personally, it's the freedom behind it.
Yes.
Of what it allows us to do and be creative and to be grateful in life and all these things. Like,
and travel.
Monetary can get us there, but that's not our goal. The goal is the freedom behind it.
Right. Another good thing that just made, when you were saying that, made me think too, like if you have a money goal, but you don't have the right thing behind it, like ours is freedom. I don't know if necessarily that's everybody's, but something good would be like, I want to take my spouse or my best friends on a vacation. So stuff like that too, I love.
And if that like lights you up, then like, yes, that's a great goal to set, just things that make you want to accomplish them too. Because if you set a goal and you're dreading it, or you're like, oh, like nothing drives you to accomplish that, then scratch it.
It's going to be a lot harder. It's going to take a lot more time to finish it too.
Yeah. I think you have to be very intuitive and aware to realize those things, because I know myself, and if I set a goal and I, something happens and I have to pivot, it's like, oh, I can be down on myself and be like, oh, but maybe there's still a way, but sometimes you just have to pivot. And
it's a fear as well, because fear of judgment. Oh, I'm switching my goal because now people are going to think I didn't reach it, so now I'm giving up on it. And then you're going to be worried about what other people think, which is valid. Like, I get that too, because I feel the same with certain things. And there's certain things you just want because it looks good, or you told people, or whatever, I guess. So I think in your heart and what you want. And if it's not serving you,
it's time to move on.
Maybe it's time.
Life happens, and so sometimes you literally cannot reach your goals. So like I was talking to a girl, and she was supposed to run a marathon in last month, I think in April, but she got in a car accident, and she like injured something to where she just couldn't run anymore. Or not run anymore, but she just couldn't run in that marathon. And so it's like, okay, maybe her goal was to run it in April, and then, well, life happened, can't do it. So then you have to kind of pivot, and now she's running it in the fall.
I think having grace for yourself is a huge thing.
Yeah.
That's what I tell my girls sometimes too when I'm coaching. I'm like, you're not always going to be on your A game every single day. Give yourself a little bit of grace, take a deep breath, and like, what are you doing a good job at right now? Let's capitalize on that. Same with life.
Yeah. Sometimes just stepping back and looking at the bigger picture and being grateful for those things is what you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. That definitely hits me because doing the realtor, like passing the realtor exam, because I took it. It was, I don't even know if I've said this on another podcast. Basically, I passed one, but then I had to go past the other because it was over a year or something. I don't know. IDFPR, the state was picky about the date. So then I had to retake that one. I hadn't studied for it. I was going to study the day or two before because I'd already passed it before and it was no big deal. Then was in the ER, and then I didn't pass it by 1 point, and it was so discouraging. But then I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to have grace with myself. Like, I've been through a lot this week, so it's fine. I'm going to retake it. It's no big deal. And it's just, stuff happens. Like, It's no big deal.
Things happen that's out of your control.
Yeah. So just roll with the punches. And what was the other part of that question?
It was, what happens when that goal no longer serves you? How do you know when it's time to change the goal?
So I guess we kind of answered it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that helps. I don't know if that helps or not.
I don't know. I feel like this helped me. My heart is full.
I love this conversation.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is what we've built this podcast around. Yeah. So it's about time we had this conversation. Yeah. But this is what we talk about before we even started the podcast, when we would get together. Yeah. This is what we would talk about. Just like, what are our goals? How do we get there? Like, just bouncing ideas off each other and like helping each other get there. Yeah. And I think I don't know. It's amazing.
That is so true. This is just a normal conversation.
I know.
This is what we did.
Yeah.
That is so funny to think about. And like, what is this episode?
9.
And now we're just now talking about this. This is like our everyday lives.
Yeah.
It is.
Honestly, it is.
So it brought us together.
Yeah.
And I think for us, I know we have obviously a passion in real estate and that's going to stay. But I think, at least for me, the real passion is this, of like doing the podcast. And I don't even know if it's helping other people, but like building a community of other people that are like us, that just want to talk about their goals and about more things to life and traveling and visualizing. I don't know. This is what like fuels me. Yes. I know I love my job and I love real estate and everything, but this is so much fun and it truly fills our cup when we have these conversations. It truly does.
Like after I leave these conversations, I'm like, what can I do to hit my goals?
Yeah.
You're like on fire. That's how I feel. I'm like driving home and I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And like, that's the best freaking feeling ever.
And honestly, even going back to the beginning of this episode when you were like, my life sucks. I need to get it together. And I'm like, well, same. But I started getting up at 5 a.m. again. And you're like, I'm going to start getting up early. Yeah. Things like sometimes you just need that.
Yes.
Just, and to bounce the inspiration off each other. And be like, you know what?
I agree.
Bounce the inspo.
Just
I love that.
And these are the conversations, like, we'll be really into our week and feel really down or, like, so many things on your to-do list. But having this, it just kind of makes it all go away, but I'm, like, excited now.
Me too.
To get it done.
It gives you a different perspective on it. Because before you're like, oh, this sucks and this and that. And now we're like, I'm going to tackle that.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it done.
Deal. I'm getting up at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
I'm going to call you at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Call me.
Call me.
Yes.
5:30.
Let's go. Spoken like Natalie.
I've called her at 5 a.m. before, and she's not pleasant to talk to.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I have an issue. I stay up way too late. I'll go to bed at like 1 or 2 in the morning.
You are a night owl.
Because I'll be working on the computer, and then I just get energized, and like that's my 5 to 6 a.m. And I need to switch that because that's not healthy.
You know how you break that, though?
Go to bed at 9.
No, you just stay up late, however,
and wake up.
Get up at 5. You're going to be so tired the next night that you're going to want to go to bed at like 9.
She's like, ick.
You just have to get up. That's how you break the cycle.
I need an alarm clock.
Yeah, an actual one.
Yeah, I think that would help.
Put it in like your living room.
You know what I used to do in high school? I used to get the calculator alarm clocks in my phone, like an app, where I'd have to solve math equations.
Oh,
I've seen that before.
I was never that bad.
I literally will not wake up to save my life.
That's funny, though.
It'll be in the background. I don't care. I'll let it go. It's bad.
I think what helps me is in high school, I would literally get up at 4:30 in the morning. every day because the YMCA would open their doors at 4:45.
Oh my God.
And I wanted to be there as soon as they opened. And so I'm like, if I could do that back then, I can get up at 5 o'clock, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what helps me. Is
That's insane.
Like I used to be able to do it. I can still do it. And I'd go to bed at like 8:30 every night. I'd be in bed.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something to having like time to yourself in the morning before like people are, you know, clients are texting you, other people, like before the stress of the day hits you. It is so calming.
It's more peaceful than staying up late. I
Yes,
agree.
and being stimulated.
Yes.
But on the flip hand, I do feel like I will get like these creative like things at night too.
Yes,
These
that's
urges.
true.
So it's like if that's coming, I gotta stay up. And
Gotta
I
capitalize.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't think you're entirely wrong for doing that.
You know what?
In the same way.
Yeah. You know, I get a little bit of both because throughout the week, you know, get up early, go to bed early, but then on the weekends, I stay up late. And then I'll wake up late, but then Sunday night comes and I'll stay up late, and Monday morning comes and I'm getting up early. I'm going to be real tired, but I'm going to be tired enough the next night.
I need to do that.
Yeah. You just got to
I just got to do that. Yeah.
force yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Force yourself into the routine.
Hopefully you listening got something good out of this episode, and maybe it fueled some fire in you to look at your goals again and to maybe set some new ones, some more ones that you're passionate about. So wherever you are right now, whether you're driving to work or you're doing laundry in your house, I want you to stop for a second and repeat these affirmations. I will set goals. I will envision them. I will accomplish them. And there we have it. So I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day.
And until next time, yeah, thanks for listening.
See you next week. Bye.
Toodles.